Welcome everyone to the recent video games pickup video of 2025. Now, normally I usually do these videos monthly, and you might be wondering where I've been. Well, I really haven't been buying a lot of games because I've been trying to get through the backlog, and I know I've been saying it for years that I wasn't gonna buy that much, and then I would go and buy a million games for the next video. But I figured I'd take it low this year because I've been trying to save money to finally pay off my student loans. Struggles of being a millennial and above, and probably a Gen X. Look, we all struggling to pay off our student loans if we went to college. Let's be real. So I thought I'd be the adult about it and stop buying games for a little bit. But I did still buy a few. It just took me quite a little bit to get them. Now, I'm going to do this video because these are games I picked up since January. And I know I got a couple more things coming. However, I don't know when they're coming. So they might be grouped in with the next video I do. Maybe in June, because June of 2025, let's just say, has some interesting things that I might want to show off. That might be a little bit of foreshadowing, right? So, let's get into what I have here, because I do have 7 games that are going to be interesting to take a look at. Now, to start off, we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, you might be wondering, have I played it yet? And for any of these games, you could tell that a lot of them are still in shrink wrap. So you can tell my backlog is still kind of struggled. So I haven't played any of these yet, but Assassin's Creed Shadows, I was looking forward to playing when I get around to it. It doesn't seem like it's a traditional Assassin's Creed game. I could be wrong. To me, when I look at this, it reminds me a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm sure it's fine. I thought it would be interesting for the assassins to go to feudal Japan. I believe that's what it is. It looks like it's in Japan. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. I might be wrong. For all I know, it's in Australia, and I could be completely off, right? But when I get to it, I'm going to be excited to play it. Now, this next game I got, I was surprised it was on sale because it's still relatively new, right? And that's Dragon Age The Veilguard. I played Dragon Age Origins a little bit when it first came out, and then my disc decided to not want to read anymore, and the install file, I guess, got corrupt on the PlayStation 4. So I never really decided to buy another disc and try playing it again, but I did like the 5 hours I got into it. So this was a brand new game, and it was down to like $30 at one point, and I don't know if it's because it's awful or if it just wasn't selling well, so they dropped the price. But it's going to be nice to play this. Now, the next game, I've played one of the 2 games because it is a collection, and that is the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remake Collection. Now, I've played Suikoden 1. I loved Suikoden 1. I've played 3 also, and 4, I believe. And if there's a 4. I know I played 3. I might just be lying about that. But 2, Suikoden 2 is a game that on the PlayStation 1 is very expensive to get your hands on. Just because the prices are astronomical for it. So when they announced this HD remaster of 1 and 2, I figured I might just cut my losses and buy this to finally play Suikoden 2. Now, it is a game I eventually do want in my PlayStation 1 collection. However, I do also just want to play it. I love my turn-based RPGs. You guys know that if you've been following the channel for a while. So I figured just to be able to play it and even play Suikoden 1 again in full HD, beautiful graphics, it was a no-brainer for a pickup. Now, another no-brainer for a pickup for me was the remaster of Tales of Graces F. Now, I have Tales of Graces F on the PlayStation 3, and I thought it was one of the more underrated Tales games. Big fan of Tales series. You guys know that. As being fans of the channel, I have almost every Tales game, from Destiny all the way up to like Xillia, up to Tales of Arise. And everything kind of in between. Even Fantasia, I have a repro cart for my Super Nintendo. But Graces F, I loved when I played it for the first time. I think it was back in 2018 or 2017 I played it for the first time. And I'm excited to play this again. It's a classic style Tales game. And I just feel like I needed to buy this, support the franchise that I love. And it should be fun. Now, I took a trip to New York City in mid-March, right? And they have a book off in Manhattan. It's like the only one, or one of a few, in the States. And in that book off, I decided I had to buy video games, right? I had to, right? And it was cool because it was a big Japanese section. Obviously, the off-brand, like book off, hard off, everything like that. They're a Japanese kind of thrift store kind of thingamabobber. So having the one in Manhattan I went to, and I was able to buy this game called Rain Code. I wanted to buy something and Raincode looked the most interesting to it. It was $39.99, and it's made by Spike Chunsoft. When I look at the back, right, it kind of looks like it reminded me of Persona to an extent. I'm not kind of sure what game it is. I haven't played it yet, even though it says Onward Through the Mystery Labyrinth. It looks fun. Spike Chunsoft is a good brand usually because they make the Fire Pro Wrestling series. But who knows? I might like it, I might not. Now, I bought myself a classic game. This is just a Nintendo gift card I got. I don't know why that's in here. For my birthday. And it was a game when I went to Digital Press up in Clifton, New Jersey that I didn't think I would find. I've heard people talk about this game that was it being an essential for this console. And it's for the Turbo Grafx 16. Now, it's tough to find Turbo Grafx games in the wild. Let's be honest, because the system wasn't all that popular, at least in my area. And the game I picked up was Disney's Tailspin. Now, I've heard people say this game is super fun. It was around that same time when Disney was kind of in its prime with games from like DuckTales and stuff like that. So, Tailspin, having this on the Turbo Grafx, having any game, let's be honest, on my Turbo Grafx is always a win because it's such a hard system for me to get games for. So, adding that, kind of cool. I thought it would be a good birthday present for myself. And then another game that I picked up, final game that I'm going to show off in this video, was the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom is a series that fighting game fans know and love. And I bought it really just to have a modern version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. However, I didn't really look into what else was on here. And there's 7 other games like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighters, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, X-Men Children of the Atom, The Punisher, and Marvel Superheroes. So there's a lot of content here. I grew up playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on my Sega Dreamcast, even though it was kind of a bootleg copy, but I finally do have an actual authentic version of it now. And to get this, I think, is a fun little thing to just have and play. It also says there's a comic book included that's in the English version only, or only in English language. And another game, actually, that should have been here this month, but it's been like tough to get a hold of. Mine's been shipped. I'm just waiting for it to get here. Is the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which has a bunch of different games on that, including like the Power Stone Collection, and I think Rival Schools is on it. So that's gonna be cool to have. I wanted that to be here for this, but it's not. So that'll maybe be in my June video, because I think I'm gonna be doing a video for June, because I have a couple interesting projects I want to show off if all goes well, including resurrecting one of my dead systems, because I bought a donor system and I hope to, piece some things together and get it working again. And maybe we'll show that off if I actually get it working again. So those are my latest game pickups. Currently I've been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's an interesting game in my opinion if we want to get into it real quick, because I'm used to Yakuza being a fighting game, and this is a turn-based RPG, and it makes sense because without giving out too many spoilers, the main character is like a fan of classic turn-based RPGs, so it's kind of cool that they incorporated that in there just to kind of go with the flow. But it kind of feels a little slow for me when playing all the other Yakuza games where they were just active combat games. I also recently just beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I thought that was fantastic. I liked part 1 a little bit better, but Rebirth was cool. I think it's also going into, when I look at playing the original Final Fantasy VII, this section that Rebirth covers was probably my least favorite section of the original game as well. So I'm hoping when part 3 comes out, I'm just going to love it because I loved the end game for that. So, guys, what do you think of these latest game pickup videos? Hopefully, I don't take another 2 months off of making videos. I just wanted time to recharge and kind of chill out for 2025. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below for those games. What games are you excited for coming out soon? I guess I'll catch you later, guys. Game on. See ya. Bye.